And hey, a very good afternoon to you. Thanks for joining me. Whatever you're doing right now, maybe you just finished your lunch. Had a good lunch, I hope. Or maybe you're having your lunch right now. I want to thank you for joining us here today. My name is Mr. Young here on this very special live stream. We are here, of course, at the Singapore Discovery Center to commemorate a very special day. Today, of course, being the 15th of February, it is Total Defense Day, and this is the Total Defense Day Commemoration Event 2021. Now, the official program will be starting at about 2 p.m. But in the meantime, though, while I have you here, hey, I have a little screen in front of me right now, so I'd love for you to say hi in the chat right now. So in the comments, just, hey, wave, say hi, whatever it is. Let me give you a big shout out right now. I want to say hello to William, to Joe, to Furious, to Ange. What's up? Good afternoon once again. Thanks for joining us. As we know, like I mentioned, today is Total Defense Day, right? And here's a little quiz right now. Let's see how much you know about your total defense for bragging rights too, okay? There are 6 pillars of total defense. Can you name them? Yes, just drop them right there in the comments right now. Just go ahead. You know, there is an actual order, bonus points if you know the exact order, but whichever comes to your head first, just go ahead and drop them into the comments right now. So, okay. First of all, let me just take a quick look at the comments. And let me say hello to Chang Yong as well. Thanks for dropping by. Like I said, Joe, Lee Sin, Lovelin, Jess, good afternoon to all of you. Okay, nice. Lavin, let me say hello to you as well. We got military, civil, economic, social, digital, and psychological defense. Fernandez, that is absolutely correct. Congratulations. You know your 6 pillars of total defense. Now, here's the thing. One of these 6 pillars was just launched only 2 years ago. Now, do you guys know which one that is? All right, have a think about it. Dun, 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 dun. And put that in the comments as well. Oh, let me see. Chris, you nailed all the pillars of defense as well, total defense, military, civil, economic. Yes, but which is the one that was launched just 2 years ago? Digital defense is absolutely correct. Yes, there you go. Chris, Fernandez as well. Wonderful stuff. So, okay, you guys know what you're talking about. Of course, digital defense is the new pillar that was introduced in 2019 to highlight the importance of cybersecurity, right? And how Singaporeans do our part in building a strong first line of defense for our nation on the digital domain. Now, did you also know we revealed a brand new Total Defense logo to reflect the 6 pillars just last year? In fact, the final logo was chosen out of many submissions by members of the public just like yourself. And if you haven't seen it, well, you can actually see it right here on the Total Defense Facebook page. We are Total Defense Facebook page, that is. Or you can check out their Instagram page after the event as well. Now, we talked about the 6 pillars of total defense, but can you identify it in action? Okay. Let me put you to the test, all right? Once again, get your fingers on the ready at your keyboard. I'm going to describe a few actions for you, and you try to figure out which pillar of total defense that falls under, okay? First of all, understanding our history and the lessons that can be learned, and being a proud Singaporean, staying united in the face of challenges. Which pillar of total defense is that? Go ahead, give it a guess. Out of the 6 that we've mentioned, of course, military, civil, economic, social, digital, and psychological. That example I gave, Nick, it's not quite social, but, you know, one could argue that as well. It is close. Now, what do you think is the answer? Once again, understanding our history and being a proud Singaporean. Again, and someone else, Chris, guessed social, but it's actually psychological. That's right. The most important pillar of them all, actually. We need to continuously build a united and resilient Singapore to emerge stronger through any challenges that come our way. Okay. It's all right. We're just warming up right now. You know, like when we go into exercise and whatnot, we know we need to warm up a little bit. Here's the second one, okay? Being responsible when using social media and avoiding the spread of fake news, and helping those who are less tech savvy to pick up digital skills. Which one is that? Which pillar of defense is that? Oh, come on, this one's easy. You guys know this. I know you guys know this. Put your answer right there into the comment section right now. Julia, let me say hello to you. Also Mervin, Ting Ting. It is not quite social, not yet. There you go, Chris, you got the answer right. It is, in fact, digital, like I mentioned earlier, just launched 2 years ago. Okay, let's move on to the next one. What about being accepting of those of different backgrounds and taking care of one another, especially those vulnerable in our community. Which pillar of defense? I almost said the answer. Which pillar of total defense is that? Okay, now we just, I think some of the answers from the earlier one they are coming in right now. Celine said digital, that was the previous one. Okay, we got a few people who have gotten it right now. Social defense, Nick, that is absolutely correct, where we hope to build a cohesive and caring society where everyone lives in harmony with each other, with our neighbors, with our friends and family. All right, there are 3 more. Let's see if you can get these, okay? What about upskilling and staying relevant in the workplace and being competitive? Adopting sustainable practices like recycling. You know, we saw a lot of this during the pandemic as well. A lot of people pivoting to, expand their businesses onto the digital front, picking up new skills. Which sort of defense, which pillar of defense do you think that is? All right, Mark, let me say hello to you. Alexandria, Nick, and Chris, congratulations. Ding, 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 you got that right. It is economic defense. Now, on to the next one, okay? Next one. Ooh, I can feel like everyone's getting warmed up. More people getting the correct answers, you know what I mean? Okay, staying vigilant against threats, public threats, donating blood as well. Those are forms of this pillar of total defense. Which one do you think it is? Yeah, this one, I think some people have already guessed this. Now is the time for this answer to come out, I think. No, not quite, Nick. Not quite. You might think so, but not quite. Oh, okay, I see Connie. Connie has the right answer. Also, good afternoon to you, Gwen, as well. Melvin, I hope I got your name right. Yeah, there you go. Civil defense, that is absolutely right. Civil defense in action, of course, to build a prepared society where we are all ready to take on emergencies, crises, and challenges, so on and so forth. Okay, I guess by process of elimination, you can kind of guess what the next one is. But for those of you who are just logging in, first of all, once again, good afternoon. My name is Mr. Yang. We are here for a very, very special day. It is the Total Defense Day Commemoration Event 2021 on this February the 15th, of course, where we commemorate 1942. Now, how many years ago was that? All right, quick math, go in the comments. What is 2021 minus 1942? Anyone have a calculator? My mind's blanking out. No, I'm kidding. I know exactly what the answer is. But anyone know the answer? How many years ago was that? Alma, really, everyone's too used to using the calculator, right? Oh, no, nobody has the answer, really? Everyone's whipping out their calculator. Okay, 79 years, by the way. 79, there you go. Radha says 79. Nick, alamak, you're 10 years too long. But yeah, the answer is 79 years ago, of course. On this very day, Singapore was surrendered to the Japanese back in World War II. And of course, we commemorate this day as a reminder, not to take what we have for granted. Now, that being said, all right, let's move on to the last one. Okay, what are these actions, when we talk about these actions, which pillar of defense do they support? Volunteering for the SAF Volunteer Corps, showing appreciation and supporting those serving national service and our regulars as well. Okay, you know the answer. Go ahead, put the answer into the comment section right now. I'm checking it out. Oh, by the way, while you're watching the stream, do help us out. Let's spread the word. Let everybody know where you are right now, and that's here with us at the Singapore Discovery Centre. Hit that share button, hit those likes, hit those reactions, all right? Let's spread the word about what's going on here today. And yes, we will be headed towards our event proper in just a few minutes. But in the meantime, okay, the answer is dun, 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 Alexandra, I see you. Nick, I see you. Shaithis, I see you as well. Ange, Eugene, you all got the answer correct. It is military. That's right, military defense in action to build a strong and credible defense, of course. And as we, once again, are here today at the Singapore Discovery Centre to commemorate Total Defense Day, I want to wish you a very warm welcome. In just a little while, we will be kicking things off. Of course, we just talked about the 6 pillars of total defense. Military, once again, civil, economic, social, digital, and psychological. Now, I hope that was a good little refresher. Stay tuned for the actual event, which will be starting very, very shortly. We will be back soon. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, good afternoon and welcome to the Total Defense Day Commemoration Event 2021 here at the Singapore Discovery Centre. I'm Mr. Young, your MC for today, and to kickstart the event, our guest of honor, Mr. Zaqy Mohamad, Senior Minister of State for Defense and Manpower, will give a speech. SMS Zaqy, please.
Ladies and gentlemen, a very good afternoon to all of you. And given the festive season, a happy Chinese New Year to all friends out there. We commemorate Total Defense Day on 15 February, the day in 1942 when Singapore came under Japanese occupation during World War II. The date is a grim reminder that we were once unable to defend ourselves and that we are alone responsible for our country's independence. As we reflect on what happened during the occupation, some of us may have memories from grandparents, some have read about it, some have visited museums, and I hope that you will be inspired by the indomitable spirit of our forefathers. They went through the toughest of times and built a stable nation through grit, resourcefulness, and resilience. We too have that strength to pull through any challenge together as one people. Just like how a bundle of sticks is stronger than the single stick, so too is Singapore's security and happiness when we are assured, when every one of us comes together. This is the essence of Total Defense. Total Defense has guided us through difficult times, such as the SARS outbreak in 2003 and the threat of terrorism. In the past year, Total Defense has guided our nation's fight against COVID-19, and Singapore has been able to deal with the pandemic only because of the combined effort of all, each of us doing our part. The saying goes, a little goes a long way. And this could not be true when we look at how our collective efforts has helped us navigate through COVID-19 so far. In big and small ways, every one of us has played a part in containing the spread of the virus and helping others in our community. When the spread of the virus was at its peak, Singaporeans banded together in spirit and actions to stay home and comply with safe distancing, to help the nation's efforts to flatten the curve. We showed our appreciation to our frontline workers and cheered one another for it. Throughout the pandemic, it was also heartening to see many Singaporeans stepping forward as volunteers to lend help to others, especially our young. They cooked meals for the vulnerable groups, delivered meals door to door, created face shields, led initiatives to help the homeless and underprivileged, started campaigns to combat fake news, created translation websites, and much more. From the ground-up efforts that we've seen the past year, it is clear that we can achieve so much when we combine our efforts. Throughout this challenging period, despite the disruptions brought about by the pandemic, we demonstrated an undaunted spirit and a confidence that we overcome the pandemic together. The road to recovery could be long and winding, but Singapore can overcome this crisis and emerge stronger than before. As a nation, we stand together in unity. Together, we keep Singapore strong with total defense.
Thank you very much, SMS Zaqy. Now, you must be wondering why we're here at the Singapore Discovery Centre today. The centre recently unveiled the Through the Lens of Time permanent exhibition gallery. Now, I'm sure some of you haven't maybe visited the Singapore Discovery Centre in a while. Personally, I haven't been here since 19 lah. 2019, that's what I meant. Well, let me know in the comments right now when the last time you visited was and what you remember most of it, all right? And here's the thing, I bring that up because so much has changed. So let's right now join SMS Zaqy and Ms. Annette Lee, a youth musician and video creator who I'm sure a lot of us are very familiar with, on a tour of the gallery and check out what's new.
Oh,
Hey.
hi, SMS Zaqy.
Hi guys, how are you all?
I'm doing great. Okay, let me introduce myself. My name is Yong Wei.
And I'm Annette.
There was just a tiny island without a name. A jewel of green.
So I heard this quote once. It says, "A smart man learns from his mistakes, but a wise man learns from the mistakes of others."
Yes, I fully
Yes.
agree.
Oh, you see, SMS Zaqy knows too.
Learn from history, whether it's during our colonial times, through independence, and also the history of our neighbours and others around as well.
Great, let's find out more. I got something interesting for both of you. We want to make the history alive.
Right.
Okay, for our guests. You are now trying to mimic the situation in the Malay Regiment battle at Bukit Chantu. Once you guys are ready, you may actually start the game.
Go.
Game on! Okay, watch out, watch out.
Oh, oh,
You can pick up things.
no! Why am I not shooting it?
Oh,
Okay, yes, I shot him.
Wait, okay,
Remember, if they start firing at you, you could always hide behind the sandbag.
No, I'm so scared.
Keep the spirit on. Defend!
Oh no, okay. They're going around.
SMS
Yeah,
Zaqy,
everywhere.
if you tap
Okay.
the
The bullets,
bullets,
right?
you can
Yeah.
take. Yeah.
Got it.
Oh my god. No! Ah!
Ah, okay. Technically, you can do this.
No! Am I dead? I think I'm dead.
Oh
I
no!
lost.
You're gone. Oh, I still got life.
Almost there. Oh, you have defended.
Oh,
You lost
no.
two SMS.
okay.
But you held out longer than me.
Okay, but guys, don't feel bad. In this game, you will never win because this is the same. We want to put the guests in the shoes of our forefathers at that time because at that point in time, the odds are against them. But the Malay regiment actually stood their ground and fight to their last breath. After trying out, how do you feel about the game?
For me, I really just felt as if I was getting overwhelmed by all these
Yeah,
people,
everywhere.
and as you could tell, I was screaming a lot. I'm very sorry. You can tell that's how immersed I was in it. But yeah, I really salute these Malay regiment
Yes.
soldiers, man. They really just fought even though it was such a losing battle.
What struck me was this. Before we had independent Singapore, and for them, the concept of defending our land was really about their family, their livelihoods, and holding the ground was almost paramount to them, even if it cost them their lives. So as you're right, it was a no-win situation, but the fact that they didn't run, they held their ground, shows grit and determination and sacrifice. This is what I hope we can continue to inculcate, that this is important, this is our land.
I have a very, very interesting story, which is that my grandfather was actually a prisoner of war during the Japanese occupation. So he was suspected to be a spy, but thankfully he was found innocent and then they released him and he survived the war. Yeah, so it's just so crazy to think that it was just 2 generations ago that Singapore went through a war,
No, very true, very
Yeah.
true. Many of us had grandparents, my grandparents too. When my grandfather fought during the war too, he was in the coastal patrol.
wow.
Yes.
Yeah, I think like horrors of war, right? Like just something that, especially my generation, we just hear of it only. But I think we shouldn't take this peace and
Yes.
stability that we have now for granted. Yeah.
Fully agree.
We have fully agreed. That's great.
So important in terms of
Yes.
even
Yeah.
today, the relevance of protecting and defending our sovereignty, I think is still relevant.
So over here, we highlight some of the Singapore's milestones. One of the example, we actually have a milestones on national service. And of course, we also highlight like SARS in 2003, lone wolf, self-radicalization, and prominent attacks at that time. Also introduction of total defense,
Yes.
where we rally Singaporeans to defend the nation. So what are your thoughts about it?
I think many of us guys have got really
Yeah.
good memories of national service. I hope when it was first introduced, I think there were a lot of apprehension. Sending the sons, especially if they're your first sons or your only son, would have been a big sacrifice for families. But I'm glad that over the years, and even then, they accepted this sacrifice for the greater good of the nation.
I personally don't know how it feels like because I'm a girl who never served national service. But thank you so much, Yong Wei and SMS Zaqy, for serving the nation through national service.
But I'm quite sure I've got guy friends who talk about their national service experience.
Yeah.
And
Yes,
They do.
definitely.
But I won't be able
definitely.
to know how tough it actually is. But from the way they say it, it's probably very, very tough.
Now, over here, you get to be the news reporter.
Should I try?
Yes, first stand on the marker, count down. 3, 2, 1.
Okay, I'm live. Hi, welcome to SDC News. I'm Annette reporting. So, today we're talking about national service. So these 18-year-old men are Singapore's first national service recruits. Singapore is urgently building up its own defence capability. Having a large full-time force is too costly for the country. And this is why compulsory national service is necessary to defend Singapore. Thank you so much for watching SDC News. Woohoo! Oh, yay!
that was really cool news.
Well done.
Actually, should Minister Zaqy also try reporting one of these pieces?
About food security.
Okay.
Oh,
Security.
okay. Makan lah.
Hi, this is Zaqy reporting for SDC News.
Moving towards strengthening Singapore's long-term resilience, the government announced in March 2019 a 30 by 30 vision to increase local food production levels to 30% as a safeguard against supply disruptions in an ever-changing global landscape.
Okay, satay is on me.
Through the whole gallery tour, what is the most enjoyable part?
My favorite part was the augmented reality segment. You have that modern play which gets all of us excited, reminds me of my live firing days and gaming. But at the same time, there was that reflection of that generation of soldiers who stood their ground, believed that this land had to be defended, and to the death. So if you remember, the different milestones, I think they brought, I recalled some of them because I lived through some of these, and they had lasting impressions on many of us. At the same time as well, how it shaped Singapore's future and Singapore's history.
As I walked through this whole place, right, I think it also just reminded me again of how much our ancestors went through during the war and how we really shouldn't take our peace and stability right now for granted. The COVID-19 pandemic that we are still overcoming, right? I think this just proves that there are so many lessons that we constantly can learn, and with these lessons that we can take from the past and even the lessons that once we overcome COVID-19, which I'm sure we will, there will also be some lessons that we will also be able to use in future to overcome future adversities.
I think what's important here is that we see the spirit of total defense being displayed by Singaporeans at large through this pandemic. This bodes well for our future generations who could reflect on this piece of history, legacy of the COVID-19 pandemic in which Singaporeans banded together, all of us united to come out stronger. But what I also hope is that Singaporeans come on this journey with us because we have a future that we have to chart together.
Yes.
And really be with us on this journey because that's the way forward. And we want to hear from Singaporeans too. Beyond this pandemic, there are new norms, there's a future ahead, and there are new things that we can grow and strengthen as a society.
Now, I know what you're thinking right now. That looks so much fun and it's so interesting, right? I tell you what, after this, I'm going to go on a tour of this place myself. But in the meantime, of course, hopefully, though, it has encouraged you to reflect on our history and lessons that can be drawn from it. And more importantly, we hope it inspires you to put total defense into action, to continuously innovate, to work together, to build up a more resilient and stronger Singapore. Now, as cliche as it may sound, the future is what we make it to be. And everybody, we have now come to the end of the event. Stay tuned to the We Are Total Defense Facebook and Instagram pages to get your bite-sized information on how every Singaporean, you and I, can play a part in total defense. And we also have some exciting challenges for you this month, which you can participate in. And yes, stand a chance to win all kinds of exciting prizes as well. And lastly, for those of you who would like to come experience the gallery in person, hey, do drop by the Singapore Discovery Centre. From now to the 28th of March, there will be this Total Defense commemorative specials, which includes special exhibits on how total defense has helped us overcome crises in the past and continue to do so in our fight against COVID-19. And also on selected dates this month, you can join a guided tour of the exhibits, watch films that deepen our sense of belonging, and catch a mixed media drama show, or even go on a Total Defense XD simulation ride. Very, very cool stuff. There'll also be coloring activities to keep the younger ones excited as well. So with that said, once again, I'd like to say thank you very much for joining us here today, this afternoon. We wish you a pleasant day ahead, and of course, a happy Chinese New Year.